Just one more adjustment. I can finally use the speak and spell as a PDA. Wi-Fi enabled too. Excellent. Good. Okay, do your thing. Use the net? What the heck does that mean?
Use the net, Sean.
Ah, Hak5. Help me, Wess. You're my only hope.
Welcome to Hak.5. I'm your host, Darren.
And I'm Wess, and we have a very power-packed episode for you this month. We've actually had a couple of special guests with us. First and foremost is one of our favorite Canadians, Jenn Cutter from OpenAlpha.tv. Why don't you come on out here and join us, Jen?
Hey guys. To pretend that I'm at least sort of close to their height. My power-up phone
Nice.
book.
Yay, level up.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
Jen's joining us from OpenAlpha.tv. If you've been living under a rock for a while, I think we've kind of had a kick on the whole vidcasting thing for the last couple episodes, talking about like democracy, Fire Ant, piping
that
into your
good
TV, remote controls, fun stuff. So, this is one of the awesome podcasts that we're always talking about that you should definitely check out.
Yes, and if you want to tell us a little bit about it.
Sure, Open Alpha is all about video games for kind of specialized coverage. It's not always about the latest reviews, but we go really in-depth on different topics like PSPs, music games, the Scum VM, all the fun little stuff that people tend to
Little
overlook.
PSP hacking.
Little PSP hacking today.
Oh, we might see that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that we've covered all that, let's jump straight into Darren's hack, which covers his favorite things, PHP, Apache, and a cell phone.
That's where it's at, man. If you want to get stuff done.
Let's roll it. Okay, so last time on Hak.5, I showed you how to pipe your independent media into your TV system all around using coax and RF modulator. Well, Darren promised how to show you how to remote control all of that using a cell phone, and that's what we're doing right now. So, hey Darren.
Hey.
Now, you've got this hack worked out for us
Yes.
as a turning a internet-ready cell phone.
Or basically any device. If you've got a PSP or Pocket PC, laptops,
Anything
whatever.
that can connect to your home LAN or to the web.
If you've got a Linux toaster with a web browser on your LAN, that could control your media.
Nice.
So this is basically a way to control your home theater PC, which we've done now with Fire Ant and Democracy and your RF modulator hack. And what I want to talk about is ways to customize my favorite media player, VLC.
Okay.
Of course, I love VLC because it starts with a V, and VPNs and
VPN,
VLC and VNC
and
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so what are the requirements for this particular?
Well, obviously we're going to need VLC, 0.8x, and we'll also need Apache. You can either use the 1.3.x build or the 2.x build.
Okay.
And then we'll also need PHP. Okay, it's LAMP. Well, except without the Linux, we're doing it on Windows.
PHP and Apache.
Yeah. All right.
It works. They work well together.
Dude, they're great, man.
We see
It's
it
like
a lot.
it's the dynamic duo. They get stuff done. It's my favorite hacking tools.
Next, same bat station, same bat time, or whatever.
Yes, something
same bat
like
channel.
that. So what we need to do is, once we've got all of those installed, we need to do some customizations. We need to create a HTML file, a PHP file, and then do some customizations to
Okay, so we're gonna write a
VLC's
little
web server.
We're gonna write a little PHP code, a little HTML code.
Yeah.
What's that gonna be?
Well, let's head over here. I've got the, this is our Apache htdocs folder, and I'm going to go into the index file.
All right.
And basically, all this is a starting page, which you'll hit the button on your cell phone. It'll take you to this page, and it's got two links.
Right.
The first link will start VLC on your computer.
Okay, and this is this one right here.
That's this one right here. So it's going to open up VLC.php. So let's take a quick look at that. Here's VLC PHP. Really simple. All it is one command. It's the system command, and it will start VLC and then give it a directory. That's where our media is being stored from Fire Ant,
Ant,
Democracy, iTunes.
And that's going to act as like a playlist, I'm assuming?
Exactly. If you hit this, it'll start playing that playlist.
Okay.
The next one is this command right here, which will start VLC's built-in web server. VLC has a web server to allow you to control VLC, but we're going to have to make some customizations to that.
Right.
And of course, the next thing being full screen. So set it to full
Obvious.
screen. So back to our HTML. So once we've clicked on the Start VLC link,
Right.
that'll start playing. Now we need to control it. So that's what this link is here. And the reason for these two links is because it could be done in one link with JavaScript, but I want this to work cross-platform,
Right.
any device. My phone supports JavaScript,
But mine does not.
yeah, so this will pretty much run on any cell phone that has an HTML browser.
Okay.
Okay, so this will take us to our IP address with the port 8080. That's VLC's web server. So let's head over here.
And it looks like you're using the Dyn DNS.
I'm using the
addressing.
Dyn DNS address to, rather than give the IP address out on the show, we're going to do the Dyn DNS.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes things easier.
Yeah, and plus it always redirects your ISP's IP for you.
Yeah.
To you.
So if your IP address changes at home on your cable modem DSL,
Yeah,
check
Dyn
out
DNS will take care of it.
dyndns.com.
Sweet.
So let's head over to the index.html. This is over in the VLC. So
Okay,
this is
this
VLC's
is the
web server.
VLC side.
Right. And the nifty thing about this is here in the head, we've got all of these VLC tags. And these are custom to VLC. And it will interpret these when it runs.
Okay.
So here's the form that has the stop, the pause, previous, next, you know, all the buttons to do your stuff like plus a minute and minus a minute.
And you've had to actually customize all these to work on it.
Yeah, I've trimmed down the files so that it will look nice on a phone, on a PSP, on an iPad, Pocket PC, whatever.
Just made it real clean, real simple.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and of course, that code will be in the show notes. So let's, you want to take a look?
Yeah, yeah. Why don't we get a demo? Obviously, you've got the hack working, or else we wouldn't be doing the segment.
So here's the cell phone. I got to
Right.
go, and we're on our start page, and I'll just click on VLC, or Start VLC.
Okay.
It takes just a second.
Yeah, because we're going out to the internet and coming back. Oh, there it goes.
And it's playing our favorite vidcast. So
Right.
now I'll click on the remote button.
All right. It's remote.
And here we go. We've got stop, pause, previous, next.
Minus a minute, plus a minute.
So let's go ahead and just, we'll click next. Some pure ownage.
Choose
Oh, look, there's
Ask a Ninja.
some Ask a Ninja. That's good stuff.
All right. And what else we got here? Next again.
Oh, there's
Oh,
some
Command
Command
N.
N. Some Geek Entertainment Television. So basically, the idea is you walk in your house, after a long day at work,
Yeah, like for me, I have a long day at work, and so if I want to sit down and veg out
definitely
on
to some good content rather than the spoon-fed crap we find on cable television.
yeah, really. Yeah, if I just want to veg out to the boob tube with some quality entertainment, I can fire it up on my cell phone when I hit the driveway, and by the time I walk in and
Turn on your
Turn
TV
on
to
the
channel
TV.
2. Channel 2 is now the coolest
4
channel.
or
Or
3,
4,
whatever,
3. Oh,
whatever.
yeah, I guess it would be 3 or 4.
it's 3 or 4.
Okay. So you tune in, and then now you've got your spiffy remote, and it's way spiffier than using we could use like that right there.
Yeah, something like this right here, the ATI All-in-Wonder remote, and I have an All-in-Wonder machine.
I've got an All-in-Wonder video card as well.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
I love getting in remote battles with you because that's the one flaw I found about these.
And we're not going to get, well, I guess we could get in remote battles over this because you could get in too.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the next step to this hack is doing some HT access stuff, but I think I want to talk about that next month with some security through obscurity. So tune in next month for that.
Okay, sweet.
So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. There's a little exit button. Or actually, I want to talk about at the bottom of this.
Oh yeah, this is our actual playlist right here, shown
So,
in like a hypertext.
If I wanted to go straight to the pure ownage in the playlist, I could hit that, and it would skip to any of the files in the playlist. It auto-generates that. So
based on the contents of our media folder.
yes, so great ways to just get your media with any of those applications, pipe it to your TV, and now control it with this.
Awesome, awesome, fantastic. So as always, all the code will be in the show notes.
And one little change to this segment, normally when we do PHP and Apache and all that fun stuff, we throw on an Easter egg with either our IP address or our Dyn DNS, and you guys had a lot of fun in episode 1 playing with our lights turning on and off. Yeah, so we're not doing that this time. Not that we don't trust you with our television, but
We don't trust you.
with our television.
Do not attempt to adjust your television set. I, the most awesome and omnipotent evil server, have taken over this signal. Join me on my sinister conquest to take over Hak.5 once and for all. Together, my script kiddies, we will rule all of IPTV and turn to the dark side. Twitch.tv.
Alright, I got the signal back.
Oh, thank God. That's the last straw. We have got to do something.
You know, this is just ridiculous. He can't be stopping the show like this. It was bad enough when he killed Frank.
But we brought him back with Nmap and no regrets. We partied. We had a good time.
No, but then what happens when we come back from Canada? Bam! Alley and evil server.
And Valentine's Day.
That's just...
Oh,
that's,
God.
It's unnatural, man.
It's not right. You know what?
We need to do something about this, but he's got the network all locked up. I can't get through the firewall. It's ridiculous.
Well, then we're just going to have to go for a brute force attack.
What did you not hear me? I can't get through the firewall. It's ridiculous. I'm
a hardware guy. Mm-hmm. Physical brute force.
All right. What do you have in mind?
This is what I have in mind.
Get off!
No!
This is the end.
Just put it back.
No.
Just put it back. No. Put it
Get off.
back,
Listen,
please.
This is the only way.
Please, no.
Oh, Ellie. It's better, okay? This episode, we had the opportunity to talk with Alex Latch and Henry Ho of Podzinger.com about their new video search service. So, Henry, thanks for joining us. Well, can you tell me a little bit about Podzinger? What is it, and what is this new video search service that you just rolled out?
Yes, Darren. Podzinger is a podcast search engine, much like Google is, where you can actually go inside the content of podcasts and video podcasts and search for the things that people say within those podcasts. So you can go to our website, type some word or some topic that you're looking for, and even if it's not in the metadata, Podzinger will return the results of the spoken words of podcasts that have those words in it. We recently launched a video feature just this past Monday, March 20th, which allows users to now find the same words within a video podcast, but also get a quick preview and jump to on our website before they can then choose to download and subscribe to the video or audio podcast.
Now, I've noticed that the video flash player on your site takes little to no time to buffer content. Is that being cached on your end?
It is. We actually are producing a very small versions to improve the jump-to experience for video. And it does actually get you to the middle of a video podcast so that you can then determine whether you want to go download the entire podcast from the original site.
So do you see Podzinger as kind of a research tool like Technorati, or is it more like a content delivery system like our Media or YouTube?
I think I see it as more like a Technorati. It's really a search site. When people want to go find podcasts, in the old days of the web there were directories, but now people all use search, and I think that will be the way it will be with podcasts and video podcasts as well. So that people are going to find the podcasts that they want to find. They're going to go search for specific content, and when they find those, they'll add those to their viewing lists and listening lists.
So how many podcasts do you have in the directory, and what kind of sites do you comb to find these?
I just checked before coming up here. We have 96,300 and it was 90 sites, probably over 400 now. So almost 100,000 video and audio podcasts. We actually look in a bunch of different directories. We also have a registration process where podcast owners can register with our site and have all of their feeds put into our search engine, and we do speech reco on all of their podcasts when they come out. So we hit a lot of the major sites just to get RSS feeds, and then the registration has brought us a large percentage of the ones that we have indexed, though.
Now, I know a lot of video podcasts such as ours are released under a Creative Commons license, but some aren't, like DL.TV. That's under copyright. How do you guys plan to deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, number one, we post a copyright policy which says that we will, we are a participant in the DMCA, and if anybody who feels that their content is inappropriately available through Podzinger, they simply notify us, and whether it's their content or somebody else's that's inappropriate, we pull it down. Our objective is to make content owned by copyright owners accessible, and as Henry pointed out earlier, once it is discovered, then to make it downloadable or subscribable through either directly from the copyright owner's site or through one of the other means that the owner has made it available for subscription, whether that be iTunes, Yahoo, or any of the others that might emerge. We also, for those people that only want to make their content available under more restricted copyrights, we also have a part of our business which provides Podzinger on a powered by Podzinger basis. So we have a business development team that is actually negotiating these deals so that content which is not available publicly as RSS, or is in RSS format but is available only under a subscription, we will do business development arrangements to provide that powered by Podzinger capability from their site on their private collection. And that's been very, very well received, and we're quite excited about that effort as well.
Now, I noticed the Google AdSense on the website, and that raises the question about revenue. So what I'm wondering is, should we expect to see in the future things like paid search results or even commercials before the videos?
2004 number for U.S. advertising dollars on radio and broadcast television is on the order of $70 billion for advertising. So there's a lot of money at stake here. We are looking on the publicly available Podzinger site to fund that primarily via advertising. We're experimenting now with Google Ads. We're adding our own text-based advertising capabilities, and we're seeing click-through rates that are consistent with industry norms there that obviously we'd like to see increased. We connect users with relevant information. If the ads are relevant to that search, then we'd see more likely to see click-through. We also do think there is an opportunity over time to begin to provide relevant audio and video advertising related to the search. We've just begun to really think about that in a lot of detail, so I would consider that a future. But that is a way that all of us who have content, all of us who provide search and those of you who provide content can really start to monetize this, because the selling power that we aggregate with Podzinger eventually will allow us to sell on very attractive advertising rates, insert those advertisements, and then share those advertisements with the content owners. So we really are excited about that over time, but right now I would say we're at the beginning stages.
So really, the question on everybody's mind is, how does Podzinger plan to take over the world?
Well, we've already planted large structures underneath the ground, and we're going to hit them with lightning bolts.
All right, guys, thanks so much for taking some time out to talk to us. And anybody at home that's looking for a video search service is definitely one to check out.
All right, Darren, thanks a lot. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Darren. It was great to be on Hak.5.
Screwdriver. Wire cutters. Rotary tool.
Wess. It's done.
No, it's not.
No, Wess. It's done. Accept
It's not done.
It's done. Accept
It is not done.
Wess! It's done.
Oh. Okay.
Now we take a break from our regularly scheduled hacking for some viewer questions. Only this time with a little bit of a gaming slant.
I figured as long as Jenn Cutter from Open Alpha is down, I'm going to take all these gaming questions that have been accumulating and have the master herself answer them. So, first, Vincent writes, I have a PSP which has a wireless card built in. My only problem is I cannot for the life of me figure out how to crap WEP and WPA with it. Please help.
So you get these emails a lot too, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know about you. My hat, it's white. It's very white. It's a white mage kind of white.
Mine's just a little dusty, but it could be white.
So in that case, I have to think that if this is something you really, really want to do with your PSP, then you might want to build up your skills yourself and go figure out how to do it, because I'm not going to do a tutorial for something like that.
Dude, that's like plus 60 experience for hacking that. So there isn't any like SourceForge projects or anything on Fresh Meat that he should go get?
Nothing you're getting from me.
Okay. You heard it here first. You're not getting it from Jen. So, moving on. Jeff writes, I just got a PSP and a 1 GB card. I want to get some videos and put them on it. What's the best and easiest program to convert them, compress them, and put them on my PSP?
Well, I'm a big fan of PSP Video 9. That's pretty much the only thing I use for my PSP movies, and I also use it to convert Open Alpha into PSP-ready format.
And they're also the same people that make the program that I love, the Videora iPod converter, is that correct?
Same ones.
Yes, and that's what I use to make the iPod version of this show. And that's a .mp4, so will that play on the PSP?
That will play on all PSPs. Now, when you have 2.0 firmware or above, you can actually play more formats.
Really? Like what?
I think you can actually get some H.264 support in there, and there's homebrew support for Xvid.
Oh, actually, it's .mp4, but I'm pretty sure it's an H.264 file.
It is, but when you want to get to full screen versus the
well, I think it's like
screen,
320 by 240, so I wonder how that looks on a PSP. If you're watching on a PSP, that'd be cool. Send it by.
And of course, Sony also has their official converter, their official management program for the Sony PSP, which is actually pretty good. But since I only have the 1.5 firmware, I can't use it to the full extent. And the videos converted with that will only work on 2.0 and above.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. So they're kind of like twisting your arm to upgrade.
It's like, yes, upgrade.
Like,
no more
no!
homebrew. It's like, no, I'm attached to my homebrew.
Stick with the homebrew, because that stuff is really cool. It's the only reason I'd even get a PSP.
Yeah, I don't use it for games, which
I'd
is
watch
kind of sad.
Xvids and Divx and...
Oh yeah, it's my podcasting machine.
Yeah. Can you do Divx, Xvid,
It should be.
Videora?
I haven't tested that homebrew player yet, but it is on my list.
Awesome. Sweet. Moving on, Pedro writes, I have a locked 200 gigabyte Western Digital hard drive that I locked with my Xbox, but my motherboard died and I cannot unlock it, and I was wondering if there was a solution for that, maybe some software that can read the key off the hard drive or something. I have no idea what this guy's... I mean, I play Xbox, but I don't...
So you have a normal Xbox. It's
I was
going to
ask,
at all.
well, we modded a GameCube. That's almost as cool.
Yes, nice mod.
I should have Wes mod the Xbox, but it's just so 2002. Why?
Oh yeah, like in terms of video tutorials, it has been done, but it's still a worthwhile project if you want to do it for yourself, especially if you can't get a 360. Grab an old Xbox, mod it, and have some fun with the older games, if that is your thing.
So what's this guy done? He's put his 200 gigabyte Western Digital into
his Xbox, and has modded it so that it will read the bigger drive.
And why on earth would you do that?
Well, actually, for me, the reason I would mod an Xbox is not for the games, it's for the media center. So if you want like a cheap, very funky little media center PC, you can mod
like
that.
XBMC? Yes, I've heard a lot of people that watch the show through XBMC.
Oh, it's a great way to get
In fact, the
everything on your
XBMC
TV.
even spun off a project, I think it's called Media Portal for the PC. It's really nifty.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's basically XBMC for Windows. Nifty stuff.
Very nice. But when you have that hard drive in your Xbox, it's locked to that Xbox because you're trying to convince it that, oh, this is really the Xbox drive that came with it. Really, no fooling. It's just bigger.
Okay.
So when you want to move it out of that, when you want to take it back to your PC, or if your Xbox dies, like in this case, you want to put it in another Xbox, you have to get that key back or it's a dead drive.
Oh, so every drive is like signed?
Uniquely identified.
I see.
So that's why you need a program, like the one we have listed here. Like obviously Xbox Scene is a great place to go for any kind of Xbox modding tips, tricks, guides, whatever you need.
Okay, and they've got a tutorial, like, kind of a general purpose unlocking hack. And then there was also another one that you found that's specific to Western Digitals?
It should be specific to Western Digitals. There's a whole lot of steps here. We're going to have a nice little overlay with where to get it and how to read it. But it's just about using the master password to unlock it so that you can then do whatever you want.
Yes, I love this master password. It's WDC, WDC, etc., etc., etc.
Onward, onward, onward.
Yes, good stuff. All right. So that pretty much wraps up questions. Of course, if you want to email us questions, we can always take those on the air. That would be questions@hak5.org. And Coming up, Wes and special guest Rob Fuller are going to show us some awesome little programs for our thumb drives.
Very nice. Everyone's got a thumb drive kicking around. Let's put it to use.
Sweet. Check it out.
Okay, so joining us here today is Mubix, otherwise known as Rob. Some of you might be very familiar with him. He's here on the show, and he's come to show us a nice little special collection of programs that you can carry on your USB thumb drive. Very, very useful, very portable. So nice to have you on the show,
Thanks.
Rob.
It's
a
great
pleasure.
to be here.
Let's get to it. What are these programs? Like, what's so special about these programs?
Okay, well, I got a lot of them, and we'll probably be including them in the show notes.
Okay.
But there's 4 good ones that I want to point out that I like more than the others.
All right, and those are?
The first one is HFS Web Server. HFS Web Server stands for HTTP File Server, Web Server.
File server, web server. Kind of like GNU. GNU's not Unix.
It's backwards. But, so this cool little program, what it does is single executable, lightweight, and all you have to do is double-click it and you got a web server. And what this web server does is you drag and drop files onto it, and it serves it out to whoever on that web server. It has this nice little web interface for whoever goes to it.
Okay, so like to whomever has access to this particular file server that you've given,
right?
It's FTP access for them. You can
Well, it's faster than FTP because you can actually use wget or other tools on it, and open up like 10 connections to it and you can open as many connections as a web server would.
You can use like wget or like apt-get or something like that if you're running a Linux type
some
distro.
download manager.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And this fact that it's a standalone executable will allow even like limited users access to the program. You know, like they can run the program themselves without having administrative privileges.
Right. So if I'm a sysadmin and I go out to a remote site, I don't have to know that ISC's that sysadmin's administrator password to get whatever file I need off this local guy's hard drive.
Computer. Okay.
And I just send it back. It's real cool.
Okay. So next on the list.
Next on the list is SpaceMonger. I've actually been using this for a long time. It initially came out on PC World, little CD.
Okay.
Long
just
time ago.
like a shareware or freeware type deal.
Right. And what it does is graphically shows you your hard drive or whatever drive you decide to pull up on it.
Okay.
And little colors, pastels, but you have a 6 gig file somewhere that you have no idea where it is, but or whatever size file, it's taking up your C drive, and you've partitioned it normally. So but it's taking up all that space, right? So you don't know where it is. You fire up SpaceMonger, it searches the whole hard drive real quick, and tells you graphically how much this file is that size, that file is this size, and you can delete it from there. You can
directly. So you actually have file write privileges. Well, like as far as delete or whatever from within FileMonger.
Correct.
Or SpaceMonger.
SpaceMonger. So next we got LockNote. LockNotes. You've all heard of Notepad, right?
Of course.
You've heard, I mean,
it's how I write my HTML.
Everybody has Notepad.
Yeah.
Well, LockNote. Say you have things you want to store, like your keys for your Wi-Fi. You know, those 128 bits for WEP that you use, not supposed to. And you have these keys, and you don't want to remember this whole thing. So you put it in Notepad, you save it, you drop it in the LockNote, put a password on it, and it encrypts it.
Okay, so it's portable encryption.
Right, and you just store, you don't have to store any program with it. It goes into LockNote as an exe, and you double-click it, put in your password, and you got all your stuff.
Oh, neat. So you don't have to carry LockNote itself with you. You just have to have your password from LockNote, like whatever password you set for that file.
Right, and that file, and that's it.
And it's a pretty secure encryption too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And next.
Now, many of you might know about TorPark. TorPark is portable Firefox. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Portable Firefox is a tool that was used on a lot of USB drives when Firefox started out, and what this designer did, I'm not sure of the name, but put Tor, which is the onion router, we'll be talking about later, and smacked it into Deer Park.
Okay,
Firefox.
Deer Park.
And came out with TorPark.
Okay.
Which is, all you do is slap TorPark on your USB drive, double click it, and you're instantly on the onion router.
Nice.
So you just You got Firefox to run around, and that's it.
So you're surfing in Firefox, and it's instant anonymity.
Right, there you go.
Awesome, awesome. That
Very
is
sweet.
so cool. And you said you're going to have an extended listing of
Very
programs?
extended.
Sweet.
Everything on a 1 gig hard drive, or USB stick that I have.
Thank you so much, Rob. That's really,
No problem.
really cool. And like we said, anywhere, at any time, once you get done watching this, or whatever.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Listing of all of these programs and a lot of other ones for your USB thumb drive in the show notes.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Sir, are you a script kitty?
Script kitty. What is script kitty? I am a Hauptmann, the captain of Landsknechts, mercenaries from the Holy Roman Empire.
And do you, Yahoo?
Goodness gracious, no.
How do you own a noob?
A noob?
A noob.
What language is that, madam?
English.
A noob. I'm not familiar. I know what a newt is. Is that related to that? It sounds similar.
No, not a newt. A noob. He's going to be demonstrating his most recent leet-hack.
Well, the stroke of wrath work. Start from here.
How do you employ war driving?
Здравствуйте. In workers and peasants, Red Army, we drive our workers and peasants into war. Die!
And what do you think of the laptop?
Weiß nicht, ich spreche nicht Englisch. Verstehe nicht.
Wie finden Sie das Computer?
Ah ja, das Computer? Ja, finde ich ganz toll. Ist eine schicke Sache.
You heard it here first, people. Das Computer ist ganz toll. Schicke Sache.
Okay, so Jenn Cutter's down, and we've been playing a buttload of video games. More specifically, a lot of DDR. This is a DDR pad for the Xbox. It works all fine and dandy, but for me, it sucks. I need something bigger and harder because that bunches under my feet and I step heavy. And plus I got big feet and I hit like 500 freaking buttons at once. Now, solution. I could go buy a red octane pad for $200 freaking US. Not gonna happen. I make my own shit. So, that's what I did. I went out and I made my own hard DDR pad for just under 50 bucks. And here's how I did it. Materials for this project include an old, cheap, crappy DDR pad. Not a necessity. You can hack a controller to do the same thing. See episode 4 on how to hack a controller. 36 by 36 plywood or MDF. Half inch would be best. 36 by 36 plexi or acrylic, and it needs to be 1/8 of an inch thick. 36 by 36 custom printed pad graphic, whatever you want, just make sure that the graphics on the pad line up to how your buttons are going to be on your pad. Screws, aluminum foil, and wire. I personally prefer Cat5. Tools. Soldering iron, solder, drill, duct tape, and save the foam padding from the mat if you used one. Here's your process. First, gut the old crappy DDR pad. You're going to need the computer board, the board and the brains, and the plastic thing up top, and the foam from inside. Everything else, throw away. Just make sure you kept track of which way the traces go for the buttons. Now, the reason you paid attention to the traces on the pad on the inside is that we're going to be soldering wires to the connection points on the board and running wires from there to the buttons. So, after you get all your soldering done, lay your grounding foil on your plywood itself and tape it down. Duct tape's the greatest thing ever invented. And now, position your buttons around on the pad as you see fit, where they're going to work out best for you. So, and the button needs to be ground foil on the bottom, then a layer of foam with holes in it. It's got to have the holes so that when you lay the foam on top and step on it, it'll actually make a connection. Then connect the wire to the top foil, and that doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can just twist it up in there and it'll work just great. Tape it all down, make a nice big duct tape sandwich. Lather, rinse, and repeat for every button until you're done. Simple as that. Once all your buttons are laid out, all taped down, and look halfway decent, lay your graphic on top, put the plexi on top of that, screw it down very carefully, drill pilot holes before you put a screw in it, or else you run a very, very high risk of splitting the plexi with the screw. Play. That's all you have to do. That's all there is to it. Plug it in, have a ball. If something doesn't work right, take it apart, wiggle it a little bit, done. Lessons learned. Now, when you're doing mods, everything that you see me do is normally Rev 1. It's the first time I did it, and it pretty much works out. I'll have to work out the kinks before you see it. But, take your time and have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. I did mine 36 by 36 because I'm 6'1". I have a long leg span. But make it fit your size. And, if you decide to do it, please email us. Send us pictures. Show us what you did and how you made it better. That would be great. Wess at Hak5.org, info at Hak5, any of us. Email us, let us know. Wiring diagrams, plans, pictures, and our personal graphic will be posted in the show notes on the forums. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Now it's time for trivia. This segment is sponsored by GoDaddy.com. Do you want to keep your personal information private, away from spammers, hackers, and crazy ex-boyfriends? Private domain registration from GoDaddy.com protects your privacy by keeping your address, phone number, and more out of the public database. Plus, as a fan of Hak5, enter code HACK, that's H-A-K, when you check out for an additional 10% off any order. You want a piece of the internet with GoDaddy, don't you?
So Wes, now that you have your own custom DDR pad, do you think you're going to bring up your skill level a little bit?
I'll never attain the skill level that is Jen.
Aw. Tons of fun though, so we got to do that up again.
Oh yes, definitely. And maybe when I'm in Canada next, I can make one for you while I'm up there.
I would love that. Some nice doubles mats.
That'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. I'd love to do that. So now, anyway, we are here for trivia.
So we have last month's question here, which was a bit of a long one. It was, if you add the RFC number for MS Chap version 1 and the RFC number for MS Chap version 2, then subtract the RFC number...
All right, you can stop right there. Because our noob-tastic, my fellow co-star, Darren, just loves to come up with these freaking ridiculous questions that make no freaking sense.
I liked it.
You would. Anyway, long story short, answer.
The answer, it was correctly answered first by Brian, who wrote 0x0c7e.
Blah, 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 blah.
Hex.
Letters and numbers. I don't need them.
All right.
I'm illiterate.
This month, it's a little bit simpler. You just got to pay attention and do some proper Googling.
Yeah, good Googling is always... Never mind.
All right.
And this month's trivia question. What non-profit corporation is responsible for operating the .ca country code top-level domain, and how many years do elected directors serve on this corporation's board?
It's a nice two-part question. There's a Canadian question in there.
I did it just for you.
Of course.
Anyway, as always,
First person with the correct answer.
Email it to trivia@hak5.org. Pause it now. No, I'm just kidding. Watch if you want. Anyway, so up next, let's see here. We just did the mod with the pad.
Yes, we did.
And you helped me with that. We just did trivia, or excuse me, questions. And you just helped me with that. Now we're going into the PSP hack?
PSP hacking with Windows and Linux and all kinds of fun stuff.
That we were together on.
Yes.
Anyway, it's the Jen and Wess show. Enjoy. Okay, so Jenn Cutter's with me here from OpenAlpha.tv. Thank you so much, Jen, for being here.
My pleasure.
And you have a little PSP hack for us.
I do.
And that would be?
That would be Windows 95 or 98 on the PSP.
Windows 95 or 98 on
I know.
the PSP?
If you still have your CDs, you can totally do this.
Nice. Okay, so first of all, does this serve a purpose? I mean, having Windows?
None whatsoever. This is one of those things you do because you can.
Oh, yes, yes.
The best kind of things.
The geek motto.
Yes.
By far. And so now, since we're on a PSP, is this actually running like Windows 95?
Well, see, this is why we have Tux on set, because this is running emulated through Box Linux. So I'm going to show you how to set up an image of Windows to move over to the PSP.
Oh, sweet. Using Box Linux?
Using Box Linux.
So obviously, that would be in the list of things
we need. You need a PC. You also need a USB PSP cable, because you got to get it across. And you need a Memory Stick Pro Duo, but it has to be more than 150 megs, because the minimum installation for Windows 95 is 150 megs. You'll need more space for Windows 98. And if you want any hope of using your PSP for other stuff, you need the bigger stick. I've got the 1 gig SanDisk stick, this isn't it, this is the Value Pack one, in my PSP right now, and that, to me, is the best one.
Okay, so that's basic system requirements?
That's basically it, except that your PSP also has to be a 1.5. If you got the 2.0, you can downgrade, but anything past that, and you're stuck. It has to be 1.5. You need the kernel access.
Okay, so now that we know what we have and what we're doing, how do we do it?
Well, we're going to go into Windows, and all the downloads for all the files are in the show notes.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of stuff that you need. And I have to give mad props to Matt from hacker.co.il, because he was one of the first guys to get Windows running on the PSP, and Stingerwolf, who's actually going to be hosting most of the files on his account.
Thank you.
And also configuration files. So if you don't want to configure things yourself, you can get the pre-made files and get her done.
Get her done.
Get her done. Because it is a very long install, so you might want to actually have like a book or a video game to play in the meanwhile.
Well, working on your PSP, you might want to play your PS2.
Yeah, basically. So the first thing you have to do to set up your image, and after you've downloaded all the files you need, you go into the box folder and open BX image. So we want to make a hard drive. Enter. Now this is the part where we're going to make it 150 megs. Because minimum installation size. Now this is where you get stuff you got to start paying attention to. You see how it says 304, 16, and sectors per track is 63? Write that down. You will need it 3 to 4 more times.
Are you serious?
During the installation, yes. Because even though we have the pre-made installation files, you don't have to do the bare minimum 150. If you wanted to make it, a half gig installation, it'll take forever. But you can do it, so you got to pay attention and write that stuff down.
Okay.
Now I'm not going to remake it because I already have my stuff already set up.
All right.
But one of the things that's going to happen in a couple of steps from here is it's going to say, like, one of the steps is to format C. It's very important. You're not wrecking your hard drive. You are going to be formatting your image. So you're going to be formatting your 150 meg image that you've created.
Okay.
Not your hard drive. It's okay. Go do it. Because a lot of people stop at that step and go, oh no, I'm not going to format my hard drive. I don't want to set up a new computer to make this installation. It's not like that.
It's just a virtual C drive.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
So if you follow the steps, the installation does take a couple of hours because you're running it emulated on whatever kind of PC you have at home. Then you got to move it all over to the PSP and then boot it on that, and that's going to take another 10 to 20 minutes depending on the version of Windows you're running.
95 or 98, yeah.
Yes. And that's pretty much it. So if you follow all the steps, it's all very detailed in the show notes.
Okay, so
you'll be good to go and can impress your friends with the Windows that does not much.
But I did it!
Exactly. Like if you really want to play Minesweeper on your PSP, just get the Lua player. Because it comes included on that.
But it's not as cool as playing it in Windows.
Exactly. It's not as cool. This is the ultimate because you can thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Windows through Linux on the PSP, what more can you want?
Exactly. So, like we said, on the show notes, detailed step-by-step, and links to all the files that we'll need.
Yep, totally.
So, thanks a lot, and enjoy the rest.
Watch it crumble, see the drowning, watch the fall. I feel just terrible about it. That's sarcasm. Let it burn. Gonna make a joke when it falls apart. I'm gonna rain my glass upon my heart. Then someone shouts, that's what they get. generation. Kill the 5. Whatever happened to building exchange? Whatever happened to deal no longer? What happened to integrity? It's still there, it always was, for playing music just because. A million reasons why. Dinosaurs will die. Dinosaurs will die. Dinosaurs will die.
Yeah, is this the Hak.5 hotline? I'm your biggest fan. I just want to call and tell you guys you're doing awesome work. I'm a huge fan. Please, this is Kevin Rose. I'm a huge fan. Add me to your buddy list. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, that'll just about wrap up this episode of Hak.5. Thank you for watching this far. Now, we do have a lot of things to cover here at the end. First and foremost is always our contact information. That's starting off with the IRC channel.
Yes, irc.techfile.ca.
Pound Hak5. Email, obviously, Wess at Hak5.org.
Darren at Hak5.org.
We've got Allie at Hak5.org. And Jen
with 2 N's at openalpha.tv.
All right. Forums.
Our forums are finally back. Okay, so last episode we were talking about the fact that our forums went AWOL because we had a web host who tried to distribute the load and the other web host died, and they kind of sucked. To tell you the truth, they were really bad.
It's hard to find a good web host. I'm very lucky right now and very happy.
Well, we're not even going to talk about your situation, Little Miss. I don't know, I've got 1 million terabytes. Little vidcast jealousy going on here. And so our forums are back up. We had to start them over at a certain point. So if your user account may be there, it may not be there, but definitely
when you joined.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But there's a lot of fun stuff going on there as well.
Back.
Yes,
they're
up. Matters.
I know, I'm here now and I'm still checking your forums. It's always something.
Sweet. And then, of course, the hotline. The number being
206-338-HAK5.
Right there.
So we're going to do a little special announcements this episode. There's a couple of things that we need to talk about the future of Hak5, about where we're going, what we're doing, and just kind of clue you guys in on our overall plan. First and foremost, we talked about web hosting and a web host that in particular sucks. And I let everybody know last month, and I got a ton of email from people saying, hey, guys, go with DreamHost. Kind of funny about that.
Because we use DreamHost.
I've been on DreamHost for over a year now, and I love them to death. They are awesome. They got this awesome like goodies thing. One-click install, installs WordPress in 1 click. And PHP-BB, 1 click. And the polls, so they were able to help Hak5 get on the air really quick. And
Hak5.org is hosted by them. I know you've got some more websites.
Got a bunch of websites hosted by them as well. And you know, I've also gotten a lot of emails about people saying, hey, how can we support the show? And if you're looking for web hosting, and you decide that DreamHost is a good option for you, I mean, they got like some crazy plans, like $10 for like 20 gigabytes of storage.
A terabyte of transfer.
Yeah, and that's kind of important for us, and we'll get to that real soon, why we need that. So this isn't a sponsor or anything, but I have looked into it, and we do have kind of like a referral program thing going on. So if you're in the market for some web hosting and DreamHost looks like the right option for you, using the coupon code HAK5.
Because there's no point in Hak.5.
No, there's no point in Hak5. There's a point in Hak.5.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, the coupon code is HAK5, and if you use that at checkout, you'll get $25 off your purchase. And we get a kickback, and that helps us pay for bandwidth, which is kind of important when you're doing a vidcast.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Now, Jen knows about the next one, and she might want to talk about that, and that's the Hak5 LAN party.
That's something I've wanted to do for the longest time.
We are all gamers, and we are like World of Warcraft, great game. Guitar Hero, great game. But there are other games. There are games that you need a server for, like, say, Counter-Strike Source.
And she owns a Counter-Strike.
I don't know. I think Wess might be able to take me, but
we'll find out later.
We'll find out. We'd like to find out, but we need a game server.
Dude, Wes and I have just been waiting to school some noobs, or I'm sorry, we've been waiting to get schooled.
Yes. Owned.
Yes. So we thought it'd be fun to do a Hak5 LAN party, and I'd like to make it kind of like a regular thing, you know, every month, you know, release, getting well, for me, it's all about the UT2K4.
I'm a big fan of the Counter-Strike.
I'm definitely leaning towards Counter-Strike. CT for the win.
Yes.
Yeah.
CT for the win.
FTW, baby. And there's always Quake 3, which is just it's just a staple.
It's
like bread and butter.
Yeah. Battlefield 2.
Won't run on my box.
Quick four.
Tisk, tisk.
Out of the question.
Yeah. If we ever make some money, then maybe we can get some boxes to actually play that stuff. But that's so. Anyway, I'm talking to we're talking to some sponsors, and hopefully we'll find somebody that'll help us get a game server because those things don't grow on trees. But we'd love to do that. So if you are a game hosting company or know of some really cool ones, kick us an email. We'd love to hear some feedback, and also feedback on what games you're interested in playing. We'll throw a poll up on the website, and also sound off in the forums or kick us some email because we want to get some frags on. It's been like 9 months since we've played a video game. We've been.
I had to remind them how to do it. It was really.
I was like, what were these 4 keys that I used to move again?
WASD.TV, another great vidcast. The DVD, you want to talk about that?
The DVD, yes. We've decided to kind of make a compilation of the best of Hak.5, or we're in the process of working on it, actually. And we want to release it as a free DVD under the Creative Commons license for all of you to download via BitTorrent as the ISO and burn it as many times as you want, download it as many times as you want.
You can download it once and burn it multiple.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to download it multiple times and seed it over multiple boxing, that'd be awesome.
Corporate networks for the win. Also.
Yes. Corporate networks. I'm not even going to say.
Download it, distribute it, tell us what you think, if you think it's a good idea or not. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the idea is we'll even offer like the cover art and stuff. So it's kind of like a free thing. We've got the idea of doing like a season 1 paid thing like later on. Recoup some of this cost and also tons of extra features on both of these.
A lot of behind the snes, extended bloopers.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Stuff you were never meant to see.
That's the
Probably
truth.
still shouldn't.
In fact, I got to get her to sign the release for that one. But the idea is that you can burn this and hand it to all your friends and let them check out. It's kind of grassroots, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be really cool.
So sound off in the forums on that. Kick us an email. We look forward to hearing your feedback about that.
So we'd like to thank all of our guests. Jen, thank you so much for joining us.
Fun to make big old trek down.
Yes, that's a road trip.
1,126 kilometers.
I know, 701 miles.
Nice. Okay.
For all of our American viewers.
Definitely. Also, thanks to Sean Carruthers for the awesome intro.
Rob, for your awesome segment. We'll see you again soon on the show.
And Leo Laporte for being evil. He knows what we mean.
Oh, yes. Twit.tv.
Oh, yeah.
So, as we bring this episode to a close, we're going to have a toast?
Wrong show.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have a drink anyway.
So, anyway, I'm Wes.
I'm Darren.
You are
Jenn Cutter.
From OpenAlpha.tv, all reminding you to
trust your techno-lust.
This is where we screw the pooch every time.
What are you doing screwing pooches, man? That's freaky.
I'm Wes.
I'm Darren.
And we've got a whole lot of good deeds.
Good deeds. We did a lot of good deeds today. We're feeling pretty good about it. Excuse me. Dude, it's all the beer.
It's all the beer.
It's the solution, more beer.
CD, pub, more beer. I'm feeling really good.
We got a show done in a week, and we just take another 3 weeks to get through this shit.
I can intro the show. Give me a chance. I can do it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me own this real quick. I'm a pro.
Alright.
I've got the intro down pat. You just suck.
That's the truth. What do we intro her as?
The absolutely fantabulous, wonderful, highly talented Jenn Cutter.
And you're introing. So this guy, the answer.
That's actually mine.
Well, somebody forgot to turn his cell phone off during the segment.
My brother.
It's okay, we can pick back up at the overlay. No.
Hello?
If you're blind, I'll kill you.
Do you have trouble hacking at night?
Every episode.
That's every episode. So that pretty much wraps up this episode of Hak.5. And that sounded horrible.
Good night.
Owen is so 13. No, put your hair back so it's just 13.
I'm going to position my hair before.
You have to position your hair for the shoot.
So we have a bit of a burping problem on Hak.5 right now, and I need you to explain this because you were drinking some American beer. We'll pretend not to say what kind it is. Where at least Wess is drinking the good, the proper Canadian beer, the Rickards Red, imported directly from Canada. Bring the boom mic in.
Boom.
You gotta represent.
Canadian boom.
Yeah. Alright, you have redeemed yourself.
I'm trying to savor this beer.
You had the burping problem. He's doing fine.
doing fine.
You
know what?
Beer.
You know what? I think this crap is chemically brewed. Stay away from the American beer in the green bottle. It's bad. Go for the Canadian stuff with the red label.
There you go. Real beer.
I'm Wes.
I'm Darren. And this episode, ton of great stuff. I'm not even gonna try because... Darren! Can I get the list? Can I please?
Oh.
Go ahead.